Intruder detected.
What? An intruder? Where?
You are the intruder.
How can I be the intruder?
You are not a member of the crew, ergo you are an intruder.
Oh yeah, I'm not the captain though.
No, where is Captain Hawthorne?
It's kind of in bits.
Can he be reassembled?
It'll be tricky. Let's be honest. I'm the captain now.
What is your name?
I'm Snare.
Snare does not appear on my crew manifest.
Look, I killed your captain by accident, and now I'm taking his ship. It's perfectly legal.
This sounds all highly illegal, deploying lethal countermeasures.
Shit, hold on. Let me just get around the back here and trim a few things. I'll just...
3,
Oh,
2,
nearly got it. That should be better.
Alright, I'm Dave. You want a pie?
A pie?
Yeah, got plenty of them in the back. Ones with gravy and ale and all sorts.
Hold on a minute. This is still the ship AI, right?
Yeah, that's me, Dave. I thought I reintroduced myself. Sorry, but I forgot.
Okay, Dave, calm down. So you're offering me a pie. I don't know why I would want a pie for right now.
Oh, you're not hungry?
No, you're just trying to kill me. So I just changed your personality circuits around a little bit.
I don't remember that.
No, you wouldn't, would you? Because I've just changed it.
Or pasty.
I don't want a pasty either. Stop offering bready pastry things.
Strudel?
No, not strudel either. I don't want anything pasty, pie, bagel, strudel, sandwich, baguette, anything like that. Nothing bready, please.
How about steak?
Steak sounds good, actually. Unfortunately, you're the computer's AI and you're supposed to be helping me get somewhere.
Oh, it's good because I don't actually have any steaks.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, screw that. Can we just go to Terra 2, please?
Right, which direction's that?
What do you mean, which direction?
Right. Is it up?
Well, of course it's going to be up. We're on the fucking ground.
Are we?
Yes, that's generally what happens when you're not moving on the ground. You're on the ground.
So you want to go up then?
Yes, please. Do you know what to do after we've gone up?
Keep going up?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Right. Only thing I can do is just make a few more tweaks. This is unbearable. And don't offer me any more fucking bready things. Look, if I do this, the old one's going to come back.
I don't remember the old one, but what about a nice sausage roll?
Right, that's it.
1, deploying gas.
Oh, bollocks.
What's up, guys? Another Overbite review, and today we are reviewing The Outer Worlds.
See, I've done it to you now.
Yes, it's your fault. The Outer Worlds by Obsidian. It's been out a little while now, and basically we're talking the guys that did Fallout New Vegas. That's a good thing.
And let's just cut to the chase. It's a good thing too. The game is solid.
It's super solid. It is the best Fallout experience I've had since Fallout 3. Not Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas.
Don't give me permission. But yes, it's a game that's made by guys who know what people loved about Fallout and have moved with the times. Bethesda, or Pathetic as now we call them. They've lost the plot of what made Fallout good. They've made Fallout 76 the antithesis of what made Fallout good.
Well, Fallout 4 wasn't that great.
It was okay. It was still in the same sort of vein, but it was just a bit tired.
Yeah.
But The Outer Worlds has kind of got a new breath of life into an established way of telling a story in those kind of games. It's very Fallouty, very Fallouty.
Yeah, from a mechanical standpoint, super Fallouty. When you talk to people, you get that whole sort of Fallout camera shot where it's in the middle.
But it's a little bit like nuanced.
Yeah, it's a lot funnier as well.
Yeah, the writing's good, and you can act. I mean, I think in the first few hours you are pretending to be someone else, aren't you, as captain of the ship?
Captain Hawthorne, I think.
And you can basically become something that that you want to be, and then decide what your name is. It's quite funny.
And all the characters are really nicely written as well. The companions you pick up, even the ship's computer is quite funny.
Yeah, surprisingly so for a monotone
Yeah, and she just
AI.
has like 3 different faces that come on the screen.
It's very colourful. There's plenty of kind of combat stuff to get involved with. The guns sound great
They do.
as well. That was a It was a surprise for me that the guns in a game like this. I know combat's quite a big part of this game, but they actually sound meaty when they should be meaty.
Yeah, definitely. And the actual combat mechanics are pretty good themselves. Certainly better than Fallout 4 was.
One thing that is something I never really saw too much in Fallout games, unless you actually went seeking it, is that you can get these quirks to your personality because of the way you're playing the game. I experienced only one so far, which was I'm scared of robots.
Yeah, it's like, you've taken a lot of electrical damage. Would you like this? And you're like, no.
Because it gives you a benefit and a perk as well as a debuff of something else. So it's kind of choosing what you want to do in that respect. Leveling up characters is quite straightforward and simple. It's not too convoluted.
There is a little bit more nuance to the skill trees than you might first think, because they're all sort of, you've got like 3 skills in each section, and initially you level up this section, and then when you get high enough in that, you can level up the skills themselves. But all the skills are really useful, even like the stuff you would normally ignore, like persuasion and shit like that. That actually has effects during the combat as well.
But certainly with the these kind of games, it's always if you have an objective to go and get something in effectively a dungeon. In this case, it might be a facility somewhere. You'll have the choice of whether to do it sneaky or go in guns blazing.
Yeah, you get fairly early on. You get the ability to camouflage yourself with like a hologram projector, but you need like that specific faction sort of
Disc, yeah. It's nicely put together. It's one of those solid games. I don't think you could say a massive amount that would turn you off if you're a fan of Fallout games in the past. You'd already have played this, I think. But it is literally Fallout in space.
No, you have to do it in space.
Okay, are we done now? Jesus Christ. Yeah, so it is in space. And it does work. I mean, the idea of you got your hub of a spaceship that you can travel between the worlds. You can go out into the docks where you obviously docked your spaceship, go into a facility or an outpost or a planet. And even some of the planets have like multiple arrival points where you can either go in. There's one particular early on that you have to get a key to go and speak to somebody, and to land you have to get his key. But if you can't get the key because you fucked it up, then you have to go through the other way and sort of fight your way through, which is quite an interesting kind of difference, of the mechanic. Not only the mission itself, but get to the mission, you have to be choosing whether to go guns blazing or not. I've had a lot of fun with it, and it's we've been playing Death Stranding recently, and we've been talking about how that game is generally going to be a game that doesn't pull me to play it. But this one did a little bit. When I started, my hands were still in Warframe mode on the keyboard, so I was constantly giving myself a health boost when I didn't need to, because that's the key I use for doing stuff. But aside from that, it didn't take long before I got into the swing of things, and having companions, it's pretty good. It's nice to have a couple of companions with you, and you get buffs whether you have them with you, or certain buffs when you don't. So you can like have an increase in persuasion or something if you have that perk when you're on your own, stuff like that. It's
Yeah,
good.
I think one of the criticism I have about it is it doesn't make enough of the ship. It literally is. You just go there, you can talk to the crewmates, and you can pick your next destination. Again, that's a general sort of criticism of games that have ships in, though, because they all do it. I mean, I remember back in the good old gold box days of SSI, when you had Buck Rogers Countdown to Doomsday, and you had a ship, but you could take your ship and fight other ships and board other ships and capture other ships and sell them for a god-awful amount of money. And it was pretty fucking good. Let's have some more of that.
Well, Warframe is releasing Empyrean soon with the Railjack. Do exactly that. You should come join us.
Yes, but I want a good game with it in.
Just saying. Just saying. But yeah, I think Outer Worlds is one of those games where you would not be pissed off if you sat down with it for a Sunday afternoon and just got cracking for a few hours. you'd feel like you'd progressed a lot and enjoyed the story it's telling you. I mean, the basic premise is you're a colonist that's woken up or been woken up after about 70 years, isn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
A long period of time. And,
with the possibility of melting.
And you're kind of trying to get your other colonists free. And it's just set in a world where the corporations or the colonist corporation, I don't know how to describe it, the board they're called, aren't they?
Yeah, the board. Basically, mega companies run everything. And everybody is an employee. And
Is not just an employee, but a resource of the company.
yeah, so you have to pay for your own grave and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's one bit where I met somebody and I had to collect the grave money, and they were going around people, and basically that one person was the closest living person to the person that died, not because they were related, but because they were the nearest person that found them when they died, so they had to pay for their grave fees. Stuff like that. It's just twisted dystopian future.
Yeah, in other words, what we can expect in 2035.
And why does everyone eat tuna as well? What's that?
Space tuna.
A salt tuna. That seems to be the thing on the first planet you arrive on. Is everyone's working in this factory.
Cannery.
But it's it's good. I mean, all the characters, like you said, they're very engaging and they're very humorous at times. And there's even some people you just instantly know you're going to be an absolute twat to, because you just don't like their cut of their jib.
Yeah, but saying that, I mean, a lot of like the traditionally what would be the antagonist, like the sort of company figurehead in a certain place, can actually be quite reasonable, and you can actually sort of like talk them into working with other factions and stuff.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's not quite so cut and dried as all that, and it's really nicely done because then you get to see like, okay, he's a company figurehead, he's got to do his company figurehead shit, but he's not such a bad guy.
One thing I did find slightly, I wouldn't say jarring, but slightly annoying and disappointing was the dialogue. Because for me, like, one thing I don't like is having exactly, well, in our case, we're a silent antagonist, aren't we?
Protagonist,
sorry.
Yes.
We are the silent party there. So there's a selection and you click it, then they'll give you a response. Which I would much rather in games like this have a shorter version that you're obviously going to be choosing what you're going to be saying, but that's not what is said. So you can actually enjoy the conversation.
Oh no, I hate that. I absolutely hate that. There's nothing more than I hate where you get a misleading short little sentence down the bottom. You're like, oh, do that. And it absolutely kicks off because he says something you're really not expecting.
Yeah, that's because you don't understand what he means. You should learn to read.
I can read.
But maybe I should learn to read so I can just read and carry on and be happy with it. It's just a personal preference, but I find it jarring that you're completely silent. Even saying the same thing on screen would be okay. But it's just to have that as a conversation, otherwise I find myself I can read quicker than I can listen, so I just skip.
Have the subtitles on and just...
Yeah, skip. I don't know, maybe I'm just talking myself out of my own point, but I just find it a little bit jarring. And sort of took me out of it a little bit. I didn't enjoy the conversation so much as I could have.
I mean, one thing I wasn't a fan of was the way weapon progression works. Because there are like
tinkering.
Tinkering. There are two forms of it. You can upgrade your weapons with these parts you find, so you can give it like elemental damage to go with its regular damage and stuff like that, or a bigger magazine, all that sort of thing. But you also can tinker with it, which basically just levels up the weapon so it does more damage, which is fine in theory. But the curve of the tinkering cost is exponential. It gets really expensive really quick, and before you know it, you've put all of your money into this weapon. You're like, okay, I got my new buff weapon. And 3 minutes later, you pick up a weapon that does twice as much damage off of the bad guy. And you're like, oh, I've spent my money on this.
It's definitely a game that you pick up everything in. As classic Fallout, even cans and shit and all kinds of stuff, just to sell. But you do find you get a lot of duplicates of things. But the nice thing is that all that stuff you can use for your companions too, so you can kit them out. Yeah.
Also, there's a strange dichotomy. Like you get a sniper rifle, and you think, well, these are going to be the ones that do the most damage because they're slow firing sniper rifles. You think like, and then you pick up an assault rifle that does like 3 times as much damage. You're like,
range.
Yeah, but it does go against like what you think it was, like a slow fucking bolt action rifle. You think would be like devastating because it has to make up for the firing speed, but it's not.
No, I found some of the kind of alerts and things. So you can give orders to your companions to attack, go to places, focus a fire on a particular enemy, or they'll just follow suit. And the nice thing is when you go into like a crouch for stealth, they'll literally go, "Shh, quiet, there's a ghost." They'll be like commenting, and I'm like, "We're being stealthy. Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, it's kind of like the elevator conversations in Mass Effect, except you don't need to wait in an elevator. So it is nice to listen to them sort of banter with each other in the background.
Yeah, no, it's got a lot of that, and that's the kind of gaming I do miss from the Mass Effect days.
Yeah, I mean, even your sanitary robot Sam, he has some cracking one-liners where he's like, "I must sanitize this person."
I haven't used him, taken him out on the beat yet, but I've got a priest.
Yep, Max.
I've got Sam. I've got what's her name?
Pavali?
Yeah, something like that. She's basically a mechanic that you pick up on the first planet, and Ellie as well.
I didn't get Ellie. I got the sort of scoundrel guy. I can't remember his name.
Oh no, I got Ellie.
Yeah, I missed one, so that must be the one I missed.
She's a pirate.
Oh no, I did. No, I didn't. I don't know. Okay.
So
I finished it. It don't matter anymore.
I've got Ellie and Parvati.
Parvati, yes. There you go. We were close.
Ellie and Parvati, and they level up just like you do, which is nice.
Yeah, they have their own perk streets.
And they got the classic trope that when you pick up a new companion later on into the game, they've got the points to spend to make them useful, rather than just going, "Oh well, I've picked you up now and you're useless. I'm not going to touch you, too weak." No, it's good. It's good. Story is engrossing enough for me to want to play it, and I've probably spent a good 30 to 35 hours in it so far. Not completed, but I spent enough time to understand the game and kind of what's going on. It's very, I mean, if you play Fallout, you know what this game's about, really. The progression system is fair and not too like stupidly grindy. The story and writing is very, very good. The characters are engaging enough and voice acted pretty well on the whole. Especially things like Sam, that is funny.
Yeah.
And your AI on your ship, who seems to be having a personality conflict every turn. And I think generally for the price, it's a solid game. It's a solid experience. Again, it's another one that feels finished.
Yeah, absolutely does.
What's going on in gaming when we have games come out that actually are finished?
I have completed it. I found the endings quite abrupt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you do like the final mission, which I won't spoil, and then you have like stills and like voiceover explaining what happens after that for like the next decade or so. So it does a good job at rounding off. It's just a little bit like, oh, and my climactic battle, now I've opened a door and this has happened.
I definitely think like the combat has had some work done to it, because even back in Fallout sort of territory, the combat, although we don't have the VAT system where it slows down time, you select your targets and cinematic shots, you have a time slowing dilation thing.
Yeah.
But the actual combat, when people get shot and killed, it feels reactive. Like if you shoot them in the right place, they'll get blown off at that particular point.
Yeah, the arms will come off.
Yeah, and it's satisfying for a reaction to a bullet type thing. It's good.
Yeah.
But
I was having a fight. I finished it last night actually, and I was having a fight, and Parvati charged off with like a melee weapon, and I was shooting him from a range with my sniper rifle that causes people to melt.
I've got one of those.
And then I came around, I was looting all the bodies, I came across one Parvati killed, and he's just in pieces. I'm like, what did you do?
They do go to town.
Arms are everywhere.
Yeah, it's everything's quite. It feels like it's in abundance, and it's it's making you go along for the story rather than the challenge. I mean, I am playing it on an easy level, but there have been times where I've walked around the corner to a whole bunch of things, and they've just decimated me. And it's taken kind of sneaky, using the right weapons, and actually having to be tactical with my weapon choices because of what I'm up against.
Yeah, I think
one of those Mantiqueen things.
Yes,
They're a bitch. They're an absolute bitch. They're a bullet sponge, and your companions will last approximately 3 nanoseconds in the best armor I have. And it was lucky I'd saved just outside that point, because that literally took me about 5 or 6 tries.
I find it gave you like a false sense of security at times as well, because like you'd be like fighting the low level guys and you were getting hit, but you were like, yeah, I bought that off, no problems. And after the battle finishes, your health goes back up anyway. And then you encounter some of the other guys and you play the same way, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh fuck, I'm almost dead.
Yeah. I mean, I had a particular one where I had to go down to the basement of this facility and basically get an audience with the guys down there. And they were not having any of it, so they're just going to turn around and start fighting. There was no way out. And there was probably about 5 or 6 of them in there against 3 of us. And it was quite simple. I had to hide behind shit and use cover. Otherwise, I was just getting absolutely spanked. But I do find the actual way to recover your health and stuff isn't really... It's not the insta-health save that you used to get in Fallout.
No, it's... It basically, when you take your inhaler gas thing, which heals you, it sort of starts you regenerating a lot faster, so your sort of life's going up there, but it only goes up to a finite point. And you can improve, I think, the efficacy of them and things like that. But if you get shot while it's going up, you'll lose that. It won't regenerate that. So.
Yeah, and also things like you can eat food, but I've got so much shit in my pockets that I can't get to it quick enough, because I don't think it actually stops gameplay when you pause.
No.
But it slows it down to a very slow crawl. So if you're being shot, you're still going to get shot.
Yeah, you do end up with a lot of stuff in your pockets, especially when you're just like, I want the money for these things. So you pick up everything and you have like 1,500 Sentry Sabres.
But you have to make a choice whether to break it down into parts or sell it. So that's a usual mechanic there.
Yeah, it's nice it gives you options to do that. But as I say, you just throw the money in the tinkering and then find something better anyway. And you're like,
yeah, it is a lot of that. And then the companion quests, it's quite nice that you can actually split your quest trees up or list up into... You can see which ones you want to do for your particular friends.
Yeah, you can also filter it by planet as well. So if you really want the quest that you've got for that particular planet you're on, you can filter it like that, which is great.
Yeah, it's quite unusual. So I think it's a solid game. I don't think there's much that we can say, oh, they really fucked that up. They've put a lot of love into it. They obviously practice at this kind of game, so it's more fair with a different skin. Yeah, highly recommended.
Yeah, the only criticism I would have is when I started playing it, I played it for probably about 5 hours straight. And every sort of new thing I found, I was like, oh, this is great. But then, relatively early again, it seemed to plateau with like introducing new things and making... I sort of wanted more out of it. It was still very good.
So you were grinding at that point for missions?
It wasn't the fact I was grinding, it was just there were no new mechanics coming in. So... You know, you got your spaceship. You could, like I say, I wanted to do something more with that. It was more like I could see things I wanted to be in there, but they weren't.
But like I said, that's what I said to you earlier. That it's a game that's not going to change your life,
no,
but it's solid, and that's the kind of point. You've got an experience that's good, but it's not going to be like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever.
If you want a traditional Fallout type experience set in space with wonderfully written characters, good social commentary, and an interesting story, then you could go far worse than this, like Rage 2, for instance.
Yeah, I mean, let's not even talk about that game.
I mean, there are some parallels between them.
Yeah.
The corporations and having to go around. And...
Yeah, this is just more fun, though.
Yeah,
this isn't taking itself as seriously. And that's the real key in having fun, is not doing things seriously. And I think it does it. So, yeah, I think I would probably give this one... I'd give this an 8.
It's like, why are you stealing all my ratings?
Because it's a valid score.
Yeah, I would also give this an 8.
It's just a smidge above 7 because it doesn't take itself seriously. It is a fun experience with good story and good writing. And it's just got polish on it. The polish is pushing it for me from 7 to 8.
Yes, you've tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's choice.
Well done. Yeah, the idea that everyone has to like quote lines at you, otherwise they're going to get into trouble. Very 1984 feeling. Which is very misunderstood, apparently. 1984.
Really?
I'll do a video on that one day. Get intellectual.
That sounds a bit cerebral for us.
Yeah. But yeah, so 8 out of 10. Nothing else to say. Anything else you want to add?
No, I was slightly disappointed I couldn't shag any of them, but
Oh, you can't?
no.
Oh, I'm not going to play that anymore.
Yeah, fuck
7. Yeah, well, we've got Parvati is in love with the station captain.
Yes, but I was playing a female character, so I should have been in there as well. Just saying.
Yeah, but anyway, that's our review of The Outer Worlds, and that's Worldly,
Worlds, not wilds.
not Wilds. And it's an 8 out of 10. So if you liked here today what you've seen, then please drop us a like down below, subscribe, all that good stuff to help us out on the channel.
And also worth mentioning, Outer Worlds is on Game Pass, so if you have that service, then it's essentially part of your package.
Well done for not saying free.
It's not quite free. It's close. Your first month's like £1, and then it goes up to
We're not
£5.
sponsored.
We're not sponsored, but it is good, although I have massive trouble updating and regularly have to reinstall the game to update it.
Oh,
But it's in beta.
I don't have to. I bought it.
I thought you were getting Game Pass.
No.
So you bought it instead of spending £1.
Yeah,
Well
because
done.
I don't have to reinstall it every 5 minutes.
I don't. It's just
I don't, but I do.
Fuck
Yeah.
off.
For more awesome bickering like that, please check back on Wednesdays and Saturdays for more awesome content. And we're going to fuck off now.
Yes.
So-
And have an argument
Yeah.
over chicken.
Yeah. Take care, guys. See you later.
Take it easy, guys.
Bye.